Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we are going to talk about Power Automate. So this is the introduction to Power Automate for beginners. So we are starting with a series on Power Automate. Automate your workflows with Microsoft Power Automate. I'll be your instructor, and below is my email ID. If you have any queries, questions, you can email me. If you have any of your tasks that needs to be completed, or for any consulting or for training purposes, you can connect me on my below email ID. So let us start with Power Automate. So the agenda of this video would be introduction to Power Automate, why Power Automate workflows, what are the key concepts of Power Automate. Getting started with Power Automate, we will be doing some demo, creating our first flow, common use cases in Power Automate, tips and best practices, resource for further learning. So these are the things that we will be covering in our sessions in this video series of Power Automate. So let us start with it. So what is Power Automate? So Power Automate is a cloud-based software which allows its user to create and automate the workflow task across the application. Okay, so as I said, Power Automate will help you to automate your manual task or the repetitive task that you perform across the application that you use. You can automate the task like, filling up your Excel file with some data. You can connect to your SQL server and fetch the data into an Excel file using Power Automate. You can also go and create some workflows wherein your Excel file databases, or you can do a lot of things with Power Automate. Okay, so it also create a flow. The user specifies what should take place when a specific task or event is performed. Okay, so in Power Automate, you can also specify what should take place when a specific task or event is performed. So if I want to give you an example, I want to perform a task wherein I want to save the attachment from my personal email ID into an Excel file. Okay, so this is what a task I want to perform. So I can perform this specific task with some specific step using Power Automate. I don't have to manually go into my email, open, first see whether it has the attachment or not, then go ahead and copy that into an Excel file or into a folder and save it. So I don't want to do that repetitive task. Instead, I can just run a workflow in Power Automate and that task will be done for me. That is what Power Automate is all about. So now let us know what is the purpose of using Power Automate. So the main purpose of using Power Automate is to automate our repetitive daily task. Okay, so as I said, we can automate our repetitive daily task using Power Automate. It also helps connect various application and service to automate the task from that applications or services. Okay, so that is what the Power Automate is all about. So why automate workflows? If we automate workflows, our efficiency increases. That is, it saves time spent on the repetitive task and reduce manual effort. It gives us the accuracy, that is, minimize human errors in repetitive tasks. So it also gives us the consistency, which ensures that the processes are consistent every time. It also gives us the focus on value, that is, it free up the time for more strategic work for the employee who is working on the manual or the repetitive task. That is the reason we can go ahead and automate our workflow. So before we start creating our workflows, there are key concepts of Power Automate that we will have to keep in mind. What are they? Why they are used? Okay, the very first option is your flows. Now this will be the word that you are going to use every time. Now what is a flow? Flows are basically automated workflows. In a simple term, you can refer this as a process set up to get the work done. that is a flow. Okay, so if I want to give you an example of flows are basically setting up a process to get our work done, which means now I have a work that I want to copy the attachment from my personal email and save that attachment into a folder into OneDrive or on my desktop. That is what my workflow is. Now, to get that work done, I will have to follow certain process. That is what my workflows are. Okay, you can do it automatically. What will happen whenever there is a new email, Power Automate will go and check whether there is a new email in your inbox. If that email contains an attachment, if yes, then it will copy that attachment, save it into a folder. If no, then the process or the work will be exited. So that is a process that we needs to be set up, which is either automated or you can do it by clicking a button. Okay, so that is what your flows are. Then you have the triggers. Triggers are basically events that start flows or the process set to get the work done. Okay, so triggers are basically, we can take it as a button. If we click that button, our process that we have set up to get attachment from an email ID will start working. That is what triggers are. Okay, then we have actions. Actions are basically tasks performed in a flow. Okay, so as I've given you an example, the very first thing is the workflow will log in into my Gmail account. It will go and click on an inbox, then it will find for an email attachment, so on and so forth. That is what your flow is. That is what the task your flow will perform. So that is what the actions are. And then we have the connectors. Connectors are basically integration with external services. So basically, apart from Microsoft applications that we use, if I want to go and connect to any other external services like AWS, I want to connect to MySQL, I want to connect to Tableau or some other applications, I can do it by using the connector. So these are the four main key concepts of Power Automate. So in our next video, what we will see is how to get started with Power Automate. So that's all in today's video. Hope you like this video. Please comment below and subscribe to our channel. Have a great day.